Hello, everybody. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to this Zoom with the title Only One Word Commitment. And this word commitment used to be a heavy subject for a lot of people in the past, but for today, I actually find that it's quite a surprise when I say the word commitment. It doesn't trigger that much heaviness. So things must be changing. Now, I will give you a little bit of information about why I'm doing this Zoom today and why is it about this topic. And then I will see where it goes, if you have any questions. And yeah, let's see. So maybe about 2 weeks ago, so I was chatting with Miho and Takako about like what can I do, what can we create more so that we can contribute to more people. And then we got the energy to do a Zoom, which is this one. So I asked them, okay, so tell me, what do you want me to talk about? We have been co-creating together for months. What is it that you think I'm being that is considered quite different, that maybe inspired you, and then maybe you want to know more? And so they gave me a few ideas, and one of them that I was like, oh, I like to talk about this, and it's commitment. Um, so just now I mentioned that for a lot of people, when they hear the word commitment, it's usually heavy. It's like a burden. I'm committed to this, and I cannot change it. I need to fulfill my commitment. And that's not wrong. Okay, if you're committed to something and you fulfill your commitment, great. The problem is how many of you are committed to something or maybe someone that are actually irrelevant to you and also not a contribution to your life. And you keep trying to fulfill those commitments, which make your life hard, make your life difficult. Okay. And the other thing is, how many of you, when you talk about commitment, it's always about everyone else, everything else, never about yourself. Okay. Um, I can sense the energy is more about this. So let me start from here. So what is it that you're committed to more than you committed to your own life? Okay, so what is it that you are committed to more than you are committed to your own life? What shows up for you? Please let me know. Some of you, you're like, what does it mean committed to my own life? It's such a strange concept to yourself. Okay, so this is how um, this is how people have so many problems. They are like given themselves up already for someone else. Okay, so someone is saying family, okay, and other people. Yep. And someone is saying, oh, the commitment about being right. Okay, the being right and also being wrong. Wow, someone said commitment to judging yourself. Um, I wouldn't say that's a commitment. Okay, so let me start from here. So what have you decided is commitment that's actually not commitment? And what have you decided is not commitment that actually is commitment? Okay, so everything that is times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right, wrong, good and bad, punk and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, formats, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay, because if you say judging yourself, you could be very, very stubborn, which I know a lot of you are. Okay, so you could be very stubborn and very insistent about judging yourself. Okay, someone tell you, you're not wrong. You're like, no, I'm wrong. You just don't get it. When someone else prove to you you're not wrong, you find even more evidence to prove you are wrong. So I would call that insistence and stubbornness. It's not really about commitment. Okay. Um, there are things that Okay, there are things that you be the energy of never give up, never give in, never quit, no matter how people judge you, what people say about you, even though you might feel bad, you feel hurt, you find that it's not easy, but you keep going. I would say that's commitment. Okay, um, let me use work as example here, okay, for you to understand what is the lack of commitment. So let's say you got yourself a new job, but you actually don't like that job. But for some reason, you have decided you must do that job. So even it's your day one, starting your new job, in your mind, you have this thought, it's fine if I screw up. If I don't like it, I will just quit. Okay, so if you start a new job with this thought that it's fine if I screw up, I will just quit. If I cannot handle it, I will just quit. If it's too stressful, I will just quit. Okay. Now, anything that is unpleasant happen during that time, immediately it would trigger you thinking about, okay, I will just quit. I will just quit. I will just quit. Okay. Now, compare this with, let's say, a job that you are committed to do well. You might not be capable. That's fine. That's very, very normal because none of us are perfect. And if you're talking about skill, you can always learn that. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to already have the skill. So if you're committed to doing it good, when you find that you are not capable of doing it, in your mind, you will have question. Okay, I'm not capable right now. What can I do here? How can I learn this? How can I do better? Okay, so instead of thinking of quitting and getting a different job, your focus is more on solution. Your focus is more on solution and also more about how can you be greater. Not that you have the need to be right, but you know, this is not the reason I quit. I choose to be greater. But if you don't have this energy, or you can say this mindset, or you can say this attitude, it doesn't matter how you say it. Although in excess, we are more used to saying like being the energy. But in this reality, people will just say mindset and attitude. So without this mindset and attitude, then when you, let's say your boss say something that you're not happy about, you'll be like, all right, fine, go find someone else to do this job. I'm quitting. Okay, so you might approach a new job with or without commitment. And now let's talk about relationship. Just now, Miho actually asked me to talk about relationships a little bit. Now, be honest with yourself, everyone. Okay, you don't have to admit this to everyone else. You don't need to tell anyone, but at least be honest with yourself. How often, when you go into a relationship, you actually have your back door open? Okay. So what do I mean with back door open? You get into a relationship with the mindset that if it doesn't work, I will quit. Instead of finding your ways to make things work. And it could also be you have a like let me see what's the best way to describe this to you. It's like you get into a relationship, but in your mind you are looking for the clues when to quit. If I see this, I will quit. If this happen, I will quit. But on the surface, you'll be like, I love you so much. I wish I can be with you forever. In your mind, there's always this like, if I see this, we are done. Okay, so how many of you, when you enter a relationship, get into a relationship, you pretend to have the commitment, but you're already looking for the clues when to quit. Okay, are you wrong? No, you are not wrong. It's just an attitude or a mindset that I would say doesn't work for you. Okay, please get this. None of these things that I talk about is about how you are wrong or why you are wrong. Okay, so the purpose of us choosing to be more conscious. So when I say more conscious, it's not just about being aware of like what's happening outside of you, or being aware of other people's thoughts, other people's projection and judgment and whatever. It's also being aware of how you are currently functioning in your own life, with your own life. Okay, so now back to the example I used just now with relationship. So let's say you fail, quote unquote fail. Okay, it might not be fail, okay, but let's say you fail 5 different relationships and you never figure out why. Now you end up judging yourself a lot. I'm so terrible with relationship. It never worked for me, blah, blah, blah. Now with more awareness, finally you get the awareness. Oh, wow. Every time when I get into a relationship, I'm never having any commitment. I was just pretending that I have commitment, but I was looking for clues when to quit. Okay, this doesn't work for me. I would love to change this. So you see, with awareness of what you have been choosing that doesn't serve you anymore, and now you need to have the awareness about what can you choose so that your life could be different. Something different could show up. Okay, and this could also applies to anything and everything. It could apply to, let's say, learning a new language. Okay. Oh, by the way, speaking of learning new language, last year I learned 2 new languages. I could I one of them I have more commitment. I'm still learning that. After 400 days, I'm still learning that daily. The other one I quit maybe 1 month. So this will be a good example of one with commitment and one I was just fooling around. I was too bored. I wanted to try it. Okay, so you see, the lack of commitment will come with this, I'm just trying. Okay, so now let's say, let me use starting a new business as example. Okay, so let's say some of you, after you learn Access, you're like, oh, wow, I love this. This is so great. I get happier. I love to contribute to more people. I wish more people would learn Access bars. I want to become a bars facilitator. Okay, great. Okay, now some of you, you'll be like, okay, I want to quit my job and I want to start my own business. I want to facilitate more people into more consciousness. Awesome. Awesome target. But okay, how often when you say something like this, it's with the energy of try. I try to start my new business. Okay, and with the energy of try, as soon as it doesn't work, you'll be like, maybe I'm not capable of doing business. I'm too terrible with business. I should just go back and do and have a job. Okay, or if you already have your access business right now, so for example, you plan to do a bass class. You're like, I tried to facilitate a bass class this weekend, but. Okay, so you will notice that you yourself will use the word try. Okay, try basically means you are not so sure. You don't actually care that much about it. You are not that committed about it. You just give it a try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, it's like buying a lottery ticket. Okay, if you are starting your own business, can you treat it like buying the lottery ticket? You cannot. Okay, you need to have your energy be very present with your business, be in question. What is required today? What do I need to be? What do I need to do for my business to grow? And then keep putting your energy there, even though you don't get any quote unquote result, which is normal. Keep going and keep going and keep going. We have heard or read way too many success stories. Like those people, they will say they have failed maybe 100 times and then finally they got it. Okay, but how often when we fail one time, two times, and then we quit? So that would be an example of the lack of commitment. Okay. So after all these explanations, one more time. So what have you decided is commitment that actually is not? And what have you decided is not commitment, but actually that's commitment? Everything that is times you got Gillian, will you please destroy create? Right, wrong, good and bad, Pock and Pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. So I'm not so sure what else to talk about. Okay, I will read a question that someone gave me just now. So she said, for this year, it's really hard. It's a hard time for her to choose. Like she actually, oh, okay, she actually asked like about, have I ever got lost? Yes, a lot. Okay. No, okay. Let me tell you all, let me be honest with you all. I mean, most people, when we see other people, we, especially if, for example, in this case, me, like, you don't see me every day. You see me when I have a class, or maybe whether it's a live class or online class, maybe it's a paid class, maybe it's a free class, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you don't see me all the time, but when you see me, it's like I'm trying to create something with you, or create changes with you. So you're like, oh wow, Ryan is always happy. Or you see another facilitator, you're like, oh, they have such a good life. They are always happy. They must have got it right. But you don't know. But sometimes I feel lost. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. Okay. Yes, I have a lot of that. But so this is where the commitment comes in. And those of you that have been creating with me for the last few months or years, you notice this. Okay. Something would hit me, I would feel horrible, but I will never stay down forever. Okay, so in the past, maybe I would feel horrible for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, I'm now back alive. But as my commitment grows, as my commitment to myself, okay, not to something else, as my commitment to myself, to my life grow, my downtime would decrease. Is this making sense? Okay, so in the past, let's say when I felt horrible, I would just like eat, sleep, drink, sleep, okay, whatever. Okay, watch. I don't really watch TV. A lot of people, they will just watch TV. Okay, or play games. Okay, the so-called doing things that are not productive. Okay, and then it would reach a point. I'm like, okay, enough. Enough is enough. Okay, I cannot let me be like this anymore. And then I will change. So maybe it's a 2 weeks period, or maybe even longer time. But now, with my commitment to myself getting stronger and bigger, so maybe after 2 days, I'm like, no, okay, I need to stop this. I need to change this. I will not let me go downhill going this path. Okay, so now let me talk about something else here. How often you know you shouldn't choose something, but you keep choosing that? How often you know if you choose something, it will make your life go crazy, but you're like, it's so seductive. I really want to choose that. I really want to choose that. I really want to choose that. Okay. So with the lack of commitment to your own life, maybe you would choose that because you don't care that much about your own life. You're like, okay, I choose that. If I screw up, who cares? I have screwed up 100 times, 1 million times. I don't mind to screw up one more time. Okay. But for me, when something appear to be so attractive and so seductive, even in my mind, I think about it, I'm like, I really want to choose this, but I would ask questions. Okay, a question that I learned from Access, which some of you have learned before if you attended, let's say, the foundation class. if I choose this, what would my life be like in 5 years? And then the opposite, if I don't choose this, what would my life be like in 5 years? Okay, or those of you that have learned this question before, be honest, how often do you use this question? Those of you that are smiling, okay, I know what you're thinking. You are still not wrong. You are still not wrong. Okay, just a reminder, you're not wrong. Okay, so you see, we have learned many things, but how often do you really use them to support you to be greater? If you are not, you're not wrong, okay? But if you are not, I would say that has a lot to do with your lack of commitment to your own life, okay? But if you have the commitment to make your life great, even you haven't learned that many things, you learn one simple question, how does it get any better than this? Maybe you watch a YouTube video for 3 minutes, you learn this question, how does it get any better than this? You will use it nonstop. Okay, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but that's fine. At least even with only one tool, one question, one technique, you will use it. Okay, so those of you that have learned so many things, but apply 0.01% of them, and all your judgments for not using all the tools to make your life great, will you please destroy and create all these self-judgments? Right, wrong, good and bad, power and part, all 100 short spoils, poets, basis, creations, and beyonds. So back to what I talked about just now. Recently, I had something like this. There was someone that I had fun hanging around that person, and I I think about that person a lot. And then, but every time when I think about that person, I got in my heart there is this like no, and I'm like okay, and I really don't contact that person. I'm like, "Right, great, okay." So I know what are those things that attract me, but if they are not going to make my life any greater, I'm not going that path. Of course, I wasn't born this way, okay? I have done a lot of crazy things in the past, but every time when something like this happened in the past, I learn from it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go against my awareness anymore. Okay, so everywhere that okay, I'm not even thinking that I could succeed with this tonight, but at least you get the idea. So everywhere that you go against your own awareness about what could make your life greater, things that would make your life greater, you don't choose. Things that would not make your life greater, you keep choosing. Will you please destroy and create it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, power and part, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. Let me see what I can do with you all tonight. So how many, oh, someone saying thank you, you are very, very welcome. I am glad if this contribute to you, okay? Even if you get this 5 years later, I would say it's still great. So, how many bases are you using to, no, how many bases are you using to create the lack of commitment to your own life that keeps you choosing what doesn't work for you and avoid choosing what would actually work for you? Everything that brings up times a gajillion will please destroy and uncreate. Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 short spoils, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay, I will give you 10 seconds to breathe. Okay, how many bases are you using to create the lack of commitment to your own life? And that keeps you choosing what doesn't work for you and avoid choosing what would actually work for you. How often you have this thought in your mind? I know if I choose this, I will be happier, my life will be better. But. You have so many buts why you cannot choose that. But if you have the commitment, you're like, I know this is hard to choose. I'm fucking choosing it no matter what. No matter who would judge me, who doesn't like it, who would leave me, I will still choose it. See, this is the energy of commitment. So how many bases are you using to create the lack of commitment to your own life that keeps you choosing what doesn't work for you and keeps you avoiding choosing what would work for you? Everything that is times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. So when you don't choose what would work for you, you have to see what are your most common reasons and justifications. Okay, so for example, when you want to choose something, but in your mind you keep thinking that I don't think my husband will like it, or my mom wouldn't like it. I'm so afraid that if I choose this, my mom would feel upset. This is giving you the clue that you are more committed to someone else's life, in this case, let's say mom, instead of you being committed to your own life. So you always use that person's feelings as the reason of why you cannot choose something. Okay, and let me give you some extreme examples. Not the most extreme, but still quite extreme. I've heard many people that stay in bad relationships or stay in a bad marriage because of family. They have points of view like, um, how they have so many ways of saying it. Sometimes it's like my mom wouldn't approve if I want to get a divorce or whatever. Sounds insane, right? I mean, it's your marriage, it's your relationship. Why your mom's approval becomes relevant? Okay. You are an adult. Okay, so you see, if you are an adult, but your parents' approval still so relevant, what are you committed to? Are you really being committed to your own life? Okay, so how many bases are you using to create the lack of commitment to your own life, which justifies why you cannot choose what works for you and keeps you avoiding choosing what works for you? Everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay, so back to the question that my friend sent to me just now. So she said, like, do I ever get lost? Yes, a lot, but I will always find my way. And then she said, I didn't know what I want to choose. Um, so how have you excluded yourself so that you don't even know what you like, what you don't like, what works and what doesn't work for you anymore? Everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate? Wrong, good and bad, POC and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. So many people, they don't know what they like, what they want to do, because for them, their entire life is so much about everyone else. Okay, what would make my mom happy? What would make the other person happy? Sometimes even what would make those strangers happy. You even make those strangers relevant. Okay, but you never make your own life relevant to you. And so you exclude yourself so much that you don't even know what you like, what you don't like anymore. Okay, so if you really don't know, I would say that's fine. At least you can ask a simple question. Hey, universe, please show me what works for me. Let universe show you some possibilities, and then you try it out, and then you will find out what you like and what you don't like. Okay, and once you find out what you like, if you have reasons and justification why you cannot choose that, this is where you have the lack of commitment. And the other thing is, planet Earth is a very interesting place, and this is an understatement, especially around the end of the year. All the craziness seems to be even more intense. So some of you, maybe some of you knew this, some of you didn't know this. The last 2 weeks, I did a few symphony sessions online without talking. It's just symphony group taster session. Maybe I can do that a little bit later. After the last session that I did, I have more peace in my own world. The reason why I start to have more peace after that session, it was I realized like how many people are feeling so crazy, so miserable, so insane, so upset about so many things, including themselves. And how aware are you about all these energies? Like right now, how many people's upset and unhappiness are you perceiving? Like way too many. Okay. And how many people they are so not present in their own life. And of course, around the Christmas and the New Year time, they will say, oh yeah, it's everyone's on holiday mood, no one wants to do anything. They will use the holiday season to justify their lack of being present. Okay. So if you find that it's harder for you to stay present this week or this past week, ask who does that belong to? Is that yours? Okay, so how many people are checking out, not being present with their own life, and you are perceiving that and think you are the one that is not being present? Will you now destroy and create everywhere that you bought into that and misidentify, misapplied that as yours? And return it all back to senders with consciousness attached. Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. Whew. Do you feel more space? Do you feel lighter? So one more time. So how many other people's insanity around the end of the year are you perceiving and misidentify, misapply as yours? Will you please destroy and create all of that and return it all back to senders? Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. Okay, so how did I discover this? If I didn't have, I would say, a good level of commitment to my own life, I would just go with this, I would say, unconscious trend. You know, everyone's choosing that, so everyone just go toward that direction. Okay, but because of I have good level of commitment to myself, I'm like, no, I'm not letting myself to go with this direction, even though that's how everyone wants to function around the end of the year. Everyone just want to check out, not being present with their own life. And even though it's very, very intense, I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that affect me. Okay, so this is where I use all the tools that I have, from the most basic tools, who does that belong to, and including the clearing statements, and to get myself out of those craziness. And when I got myself out of those craziness, I'm like, whew, I'm back. Okay, I have more sense of me. Otherwise, I would thought those crazy energies are me. Okay, so if you say you're always being the effect of other people, this is a good sign of lack of commitment to your own life? Now, those of you that know me, whether we co-create things together or you attended my class before, okay, have you ever heard I talk about me being affected by other people? Have you ever heard that from me? So, yeah, this is where you have to, as I said, it's not only the doing. So the doing is, okay, what tools can I use? What clearing processes can I run with myself? Which class audio can I listen to? Yes, these are great. But when you are committed to yourself, so this is your being, then you do whatever that's required. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions that I want to answer. I hope you're good. I hope this is making sense to you all. Okay, let me talk a little bit about consciousness. I remember recently a few people asked me about, okay, Ryan, can you talk about the commitment to consciousness? Most of them, when they ask me to talk about commitment to consciousness, it's as if consciousness is something outside of us. It's like there is this thing called consciousness somewhere, I don't know where, and I need to be committed to that. No, it's not that way. If you are committed to your own life, you will also know that consciousness makes your life greater and greater and greater. Do you want to remain unaware and so-called unconscious just like everyone else? Or would you like you this way? Or would you like you more and more when you are being more and more aware, more and more conscious, less and less reactive? Okay, so my answer to that question will always be, if you commit to yourself, that will include consciousness. If you are not committed to yourself, and then you talk about the commitment to consciousness, it feels kind of weird because it's like consciousness is something else and I need to commit to that thing. Okay, so what would it take for you to commit to your own life more? And that includes you being more conscious. You will never let you be less conscious. Okay, so when there is a choice that will make your life not as good, no matter how attractive that thing is, you will not choose it. Okay, so everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, how can pot? All 100 shorts, boys, poets, faces, creations, and beyonds. So what would it take for you to have more commitment to your own life and to a more conscious living? A more conscious way of living. Everything that doesn't allow that, times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, power and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. And this will affect your relationship as well. It's not that you are committed to a relationship. Yes, that works, but if you are committed to your own life, you will create a relationship that works for you. If you are not committed to your own life, you don't care who you hang around with. Okay? Like, okay, now everyone, let's just talk about friends. Okay? Like how often you spend time with friends that they don't have any contribution to your life. They are more like frenemies. You know, sometimes you're not so sure, are they friends or are they enemies? But maybe you feel bored, so you keep hanging around those people. And they will invite you to do things that wouldn't expand your life. Okay? So if you are committed to your own life, would you spend that much time hanging around those people? And I'm not saying that you exclude them. I'm not saying that you judge them. What I'm saying is you having more awareness about what works for you, and this is where you will put your time, your focus, and your energy. Everything that doesn't allow that times a gazillion will please destroy and uncreate. Right, wrong, good and bad, power and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay. I think I'm done talking for now. 45 minutes of conversation about commitment. I think that's enough for now. So let me do a quick symphony group taster session here about commitment to your own life. Will you let whatever that is stopping you from being more committed to your own life to dissipate? Will you release those things that stop you from committing to your own life? For your information, not talking is the hardest thing for me. I will talk later. But for now, just go with this energy, allow this energy to go into your world and contribute to you. Do you notice the silence in your world? This is what I talked about just now. Like after the last session that I did, I stepped into this new space of silence that could like suppress and mute all those noise. So if you sense your space right now, okay, even though this is just like a, I don't know, 6-7 minute session, you're like, ooh, wow, where did all those noise go? I will probably do something more about this. I'm not so sure how I will do it, but to me, this is so cool. It's a new space that allow us to not be affected and distracted by the noise of this reality. Okay, so one thing that I noticed during the session just now, it might not be relevant anymore, but I will just give you the information. Some people, when they want to be more committed to their own life, they feel like they are betraying someone else. It's like you are so used to be committed to someone else, and now you are committed to you. You feel like, oh my God, I'm betraying that person. That's not true. And the other thing that you need to be aware of is how many people in your life, they want you to be committed to them instead of you being committed to yourself. It could be parents, it could be spouse, it could be, I don't know, terrible lover. How many people, so now you need to see, are they kind? Okay. So do they support you to be more of you? Or are they just selfish and they want to take from you and they want you to put all your attention, all your energy on them? So how many people want you to be committed to them instead of you being more committed to yourself? So everywhere that you have aligned, agree with those things, will you please destroy and create? Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 short boys, poets, basis, creations, and beyonds. So if you are more committed to you and someone judge you for that, now you know this person doesn't want you to be more committed to your own life. This person wants you to be committed to them so that they can keep on using you. Everything that brings up times a gazillion, yes, they are needy, but you don't have to fight against them. You just choose what works for you. Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. Who is it that they want you to be committed to them instead of you being committed to your own life? Everything that brings up, everything that you have aligned it, agree with, react, or resist to, will you please destroy and uncreate? Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. How many people want you to be committed to them? Oh, by the way, they are not even committed to their own life. Okay, so how many people want you to be committed to them and they never want you to be committed to yourself? Everything that brings up, everything that you have aligned and agree with, react or resist to, will you please destroy and create? Right, wrong, good and bad, power and part, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. That has a lot of energies. Ugh. Ugh. How many people want you to be committed to them and never about you being committed to your own life? Everything that is, let's destroy and create. Make a choice for yourself. And it's all about you. And it doesn't mean you are all selfish and it's all about you. Because when you are committed to you, that includes you being more kind to this world. Everything that is, let's destroy and create. Right and wrong, good and bad, power and part. All 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyonds. The energy doesn't seem like it want to stop. Mm. Mm. Oh. Whew. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. I got an idea what to do. I got an idea. I'm going to do a bigger session. It's going to be about like 2025, a year of you committing to you, something like that. Okay. So, um, I guess that's it for tonight. I don't know when, I don't know how much. I will figure it out. You will know. And I look forward to contribute to you in many, many more ways. And what else is possible? And I guess this should be the last Zoom, open Zoom that I do for this year. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who have attended my classes, whether free or paid. And also big thank you to all of you on behalf of my team. They are muted now, so they cannot really talk. I'm lazy to unmute them, but I'm sure they say thank you to all of you as well. And I thank all of them as well for co-creating. All right. Take care, everybody. That's all for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.